Hey, I want to show a basic mobility for the spine and shoulder girdle routine that I show patients. I also use this myself quite a bit. I use it as a warm up to loosen up when I'm doing tai chi or qigong or other martial art training, but I also use it to warm up when I'm doing bodyweight calisthenics because it starts to warm up my shoulder joint, spine, connects my shoulder girdle and spine, which is nice before I start loading it with a little bit more intense type exercise. So the foundation of this exercise is going to be turning. So I want to get my stance a little wider and to where I could fit my pelvis from the outside to the inside of my feet. So that's a basic setup for it. And then I'm going to start, for today at least, with my hands on my hips so that I can feel the rotation coming from my hips. So simple, it sounds simple, but very often when I'm working with people who aren't used to turning and they're stiff in the spine, they try to generate everything from the shoulders because they're not used to turning and moving that area. And that's the whole point why we're doing this. So I want to be able to help guide and feel my pelvis turning. Only has to go to 45. It doesn't have to be a big deal. For now, I'm just kind of keeping my torso relaxed. So any turn and movement I'm getting from the hips. So we can spend a moment doing that just to sort of feel that opening and turning of the hips. Turning of the hips. You have to quiet everything else down. But once I get comfortable with that turning, then I can let my arms swing. So my arms are dead weight, meaning that I'm not trying to move my arms over from one side to the other. I'm just swinging. Comfortable. So as I get a little bit more comfortable with that, assuming I don't have any shoulder problems, maybe this is where I stop for today. Or maybe I have back problems and this isn't a challenge enough. But if this is feeling comfortable, I can let pain be my guide and I can start going a little higher. So a little bit more vigorous of a turn. You have to judge what's right for your body and where you need to stop. We're going to get a little bit more vigorous as we go. And for some people, that might be too much. I'm turning the hips, throw. 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 Okay. Do it on the other side. Turn the hips, throw. So I can go slower, take my time, try to connect the movement. But what I don't want is to anticipate and try to drive it from my shoulder. I want to drive it from my hip. A little bit more vigorous if I'm ready for it. Next one, we're going to go back. So this previous one, I was throwing the arm forward. Now that we've done it a few times, it's worth mentioning that it's my whole arm going long and I want my shoulder blade to be able to move away from the spine so I get a stretch through the rhomboids and mobilize the thoracic spine. I'm going to have my hand towards the opposite knee and I'm going to move back. And I'm going to go slow at first, and the idea is I want to open the chest and let that stretch through the pec major all the way to the rib cage. So same thing, slow at first. Open, I don't know, maybe somebody has shoulder problems and they just want to open the shoulder girdle. Nothing wrong with that. Again, you can let pain be your guide. I don't want a sharp pain. But if I can get the arm up, I'm going to get a little better stretch to the pecs. I can turn the hand up a little bit, and I can start to become a little bit more vigorous with it. But take your time. Don't stress the shoulder joint. You got to build the resilience in the shoulder. Turn the hips. Turn the hips. It's okay to put your hand on your shoulder and help guide the motion. I kind of parallel the pec major fibers with my hand so I can help guide it into a nice elastic stretch. Other side. Slow, open. Driving it from my turn. It's as if I'm throwing something behind me. A little bit more vigorous. Open, open, open. Okay, last one.